So in the month of March, I received 11 dividend payments from some incredible companies, including some legendary dividend kings like Johnson & Johnson and 3M. And in this video, we're going to go through each of those payments and add them all up to reveal my dividend income for the month of March, as well as my total income received so far in 2023. But before we get to all that, in case you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan Williams, and here we strictly talk about dividend stocks and how you can invest in them to create passive income and reach financial freedom. So if you love dividend stocks and if you're on a mission to retire early, then hit that subscribe button. I'd love to stay in touch as we both continue to grow our portfolios and collect that cash flow. Speaking of which, leave me a comment below and let me know which stocks paid you a dividend this last month. I'd be curious to hear if we have any of the same ones. Anyway, moving on, the first payment I received this last month came from Intel, who paid me $23 even, and believe it or not, Intel has actually been crushing it lately. Just in the last 30 days, they are up nearly 30%, which is a very substantial gain, but in the last year, they are still down pretty close to 40%, and they're still one of the biggest losers in my portfolio. Taking a look at my position here, I have just about 63 shares of Intel at an average cost I'm really not too proud of, $44.29, which means I'm down about 27.5% right now. And just scrolling down, taking a look at the rest of my portfolio, I think Intel's only second to 3M, who I'm down nearly 40%, but we'll talk more about 3M later. First, we need to talk about this second payment, which came from Jeppy, who paid me $9.08, bringing our total so far in the month of March to $32.08. Now, like Intel, I'm also down on Jeppy. I have 22 shares of this bad boy at an average cost of $60.22, so I'm down about 10% with my Jeppy position. Really not too bad. Anyway, moving on, this third payment I received came from Southern Company, who paid me $12.15, bringing our total so far in the month of March to $44.23, and Southern Company has also seen a nice boost in share price lately. Just in the last month, they are up over 8.5%, which is a pretty big gain for Southern Company, but they are still down nearly 5% in the last year. But my position is still sitting pretty, guys. Over here, we can see I have nearly 18 shares of Southern Company at an average cost of about $60 even, and I'm still up 15%. So like I said, I am sitting pretty with Southern Company. And now this brings us to the fourth payment I received in March. This one came from none other than Johnson & Johnson, who paid me $20.69, bringing our total so far for the month to about $65. Taking a look at their share price performance, Johnson & Johnson is not off to a great start this year. They are down nearly 14%, and because of that, I've been buying Johnson & Johnson pretty steadily these last couple of months. Taking a look at my tranches here, March was a pretty light month of J&J purchases for me, but February was pretty heavy. It looks like in total I bought probably between 3 to 4 shares of Johnson & Johnson, I'd say, just in the month of February. But anyway, this leaves me with about 21.2 shares of Johnson & Johnson at an average cost of $163.50, and right now my position is down 6.2%. So while this is down, I'm probably going to continue nibbling at my Johnson & Johnson position, building this up so I can lower my average cost per share while I have the opportunity. I just think it's a good move. Anyway, this brings us to the fifth payment I received in March, which came from Chevron, who paid me about $20, bringing our total so far in the month to $84.95. And Chevron is easily, without a doubt, my portfolio's best performing position. I have about 13.25 shares of Chevron at an average cost of $93.50. And as you can see right there, guys, I'm up nearly 74%. And one thing I've thought about is trimming this position a little bit, locking in some of these gains and maybe moving some of that money around. But I don't know, guys, for some reason, I just can't bring myself to actually do it. I don't know why that is. Anyway, this brings us to the sixth payment I received in March, which came from SnapOn, who paid me about $14.50, bringing us 50 cents short of $100 in the month of March. And SnapOn is one of my favorite high growth dividend stocks, guys. Taking a look at their dividend stats right here, the yield's really nothing too crazy, about 2.7%, but look at that 5-year growth rate, nearly 15%. That's pretty hefty if I do say so myself. They've been growing this bad boy for the last 13 straight years. And as far as my position goes, I have nearly 9 shares of SnapOn at an average cost of about $211. And right now my position's up pretty close to 15%, and I'd love to buy some more SnapOn if it comes down in share price. If ever I get the opportunity to buy it a little bit closer to my average cost per share, I'll certainly do that because, like I said, it is one of my favorite high growth dividend stocks. Anyway, guys, this next payment I received came from 3M, who paid me $17.86, which officially puts us across that $100 mark, bringing our total so far for the month to $117.36, and 3M's share price just can't catch a break. In the last month, they're down another 5%, which brings them to a year-to-date loss of 16% and a loss in the last 365 days, over 32%. Unreal. And if we zoom out even farther, guys, just for the fun of it, they are down 52.5% in the last 5 years. Wow. Now I have nearly 12 shares of 3M at an average cost of $165.43. And like I said earlier, this is the worst performing position in my portfolio. And I'm down about 38% with 3M right now. And for the time being, I don't really have plans to average down and add more to this position. I think there's a lot going on with the company, and I want to see how it plays out, see how this develops a little bit more before I throw more money into it. But anyway, moving on to the next payment. This one came from from the monthly dividend company, Realty Income, who paid me $9.44, bringing our total so far in the month to $126.80. And it's been a while since I've added any more funds to my Realty Income position. My last purchase was on June 16th of last year. Then we see May, April, March, February, and what these are just dividends reinvested. And if we keep scrolling down, guys, it looks like the last time I actually bought some shares of Realty Income outside of dividends being reinvested was back in January of 2021, over 2 years ago. That's insane. But anyway, taking a look at my Realty Income position, I have just over 37 shares of this company at an average cost of about $56.50. And there was just a brief moment of time very recently where we saw Realty Income dip below $60 per share, which was nice. I'd love to see it get a little bit closer to my average cost so I could swoop up some more shares and finally start contributing to this position again, because I think it's a really solid company. Anyway, guys, moving on to the next payment. This is another monthly payer. We're talking about Main Street Capital Corporation, who actually paid me twice in the month of March. The first dividend payment I received from these guys was $8.84, and the second one was $6.87, which brings our total for the month of March so far to $142.51. And looking at my Main Street position, I have just about 39 shares of this company at an average cost that's pretty dang close to the current share price. I'm up just under 1% with Main Street right now, so my position is just about breaking even. And last but not least, guys, in the month of March, I received a special dividend from Owl Rock Capital Corporation, who paid me $4.02, and I actually went on a little Owl Rock shopping spree in the month of March too. If we take a look at my tranches right here, you guys can see midway through the month, I picked up 8 shares of Owl Rock Capital Corporation, which brings my total number of shares to about 108.5, and I am down about 7.5%. So with that recent purchase, I was able to average down a little bit with my Owl Rock position. But anyway, guys, with this special dividend from Owl Rock Capital Corporation, that brings our total for the month of March to $146.53, which is a 7% year-over-year gain from last year's income in March 2022, where I brought in $136.49, so a nice boost there. And with that, guys, that brings our total for the year so far to $487.71, which is a 17% gain compared to last year's income in this time period, where I brought in $415.53. And now that we've gone through last month's payments, let's take a look at the month of April to see which companies we can expect to pay us dividends here. And to do this, we are going to use the payout calendar tool on the dividendtracker.com, which is a super helpful feature, and you guys can start using this platform for free. There is a link to it in the description of this video. There's also a paid version as well. Both are great, and I hope you check it out. Once again, there's a link in the description. But anyway, guys, these are all of the companies that are going to be paying me a dividend in the month of April, starting at the top here with Altria Group, who's going to be paying me nearly $50 in dividends. That's pretty insane, just this one company. We also have Owl Rock Capital Corporation paying their quarterly dividend, which is going to be pretty nice too, somewhere close to $36 it looks like. And then we've got one of my favorite real estate investment trusts. We're talking about Kilroy Realty Corporation, who's going to be paying me about $26. Along with this other real estate investment trust, we've got WP Carey, who's going to be paying me nearly $20, and we've got Coca-Cola, looks like $10.69, Realty Income paying $9.46, Jeppy about $9, and Main Street Capital Corporation paying about $8. And scrolling down, taking a look at the total estimated income for the month, it looks like I'll be bringing in close to $170 in dividend income in the month of April, which for me is really not bad at all. This is actually a pretty solid month. And breaking this down week by week, it looks like this upcoming week is a little bit light. We've got Jeppy and Coca-Cola paying, and in total, I should be bringing in somewhere close to $20. And moving into the second week, things start to heat up a little bit. We've got a lot more payments coming in, and in total, I should be bringing in close to $100 just for the week, with most of these payments coming in on Friday, April 14th, where I should be bringing in just about $72 in dividends, which I think, and don't quote me on this, guys, but I think this will be a new record for me. Most dividends received in a single day, $72.33. Let's see what happens, but that's pretty exciting. And then a couple weeks later, we'll be closing out the month of April with that big payment from Altria Group, which is going to be pretty sweet, a great way to close out the month. And with that, guys, if you're in the market for some cheap dividend stocks, then check out this next video right over here, where I'm telling you about 4 deeply discounted dividend stocks, all of which look like great pickups in the month of April. So click right over here to check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.